And to properly see Tokyo, you have to ride the metro, so it's easy, you'll get used to it. And you'll get help from these tourist information offices. These people speak English, they've got maps and brochures to tell you about the sites, and we're right across the street from the historic site of Asakusa with the Temple Gateway and the shopping street, which leads up to the major temple and gardens. So let's enter on through here and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. One of the main tourist attractions in Tokyo is Asakusa. This is the temple and a row of beautiful shops that sell all kinds of traditional souvenirs. And this part of town, it's over on the kind of the northeast part of downtown along the Ginza line at the end of the Ginza train line. It only takes about a half an hour to get here from Shibuya, for example, and it's really worth the trip to come out because it's a different part of Tokyo than the modern downtown. Asakusa is a little bit more old-fashioned. The buildings are more low-rise, traditional wooden architecture, and it's really quite a sight to see, and there's some great shopping here too. This main pedestrian lane is called Nakamise, which means inner shops, and it looks like there's some kind of a festival going on or a bazaar, but it's like this every day of the year. And on certain days they do have extra festivals going as well. And there are side streets and covered shopping malls that branch out from the main Nakamise lane. Here's a lady with her two Pomeranian dogs out for a ride in the bicycle basket. These shops have got a terrific variety of kinds of traditional goods. There's the paper lanterns, the ceramic figurines, paper umbrellas. You can get origami papers, and then you approach the main temple. You get to the main temple gate, and you can see what a popular spot it is for the locals. They love to have their photographs taken here, because this temple is the most venerable temple in all of Tokyo. And there's an incense burner out front where you waft the smoke over your body, and this is supposed to heal you and protect you from the bad spirits. There you see the large Hozomon treasury gate that leads into the main temple grounds. The main hall here of the Asakusa Temple is called the Sensoji Temple, and you'll find quite a few locals saying their prayers and offering their respects. You can buy some souvenirs and some good luck charms. Just to the left is a beautiful temple gardens with a pond and little waterfalls and several statues of the Buddha set in this very scenic and tranquil location right in the heart of Tokyo. The 5-story pagoda is right next door, a traditional kind of architectural motif. And next to that pagoda is yet another gardens that you can enter and enjoy some of these fall colors if you're here at the right time of year. Some bodhisattvas, other kinds of temple statues here. And then back onto that main shopping lane, here comes a crowd of high school students coming to pay their respect to the temple. This is a National Heritage Site, and you'll find a lot of different sorts of food goods on sale in the shopping lane, as well as clothing. It's a great place to buy some traditional garments like a kimono or a yukata. And wander in these little side streets as well. There you find vestiges of Edo, or Old Tokyo. Back in the early 1900s, this was a very lively entertainment district. And of course, its history goes back well over 1,000 years, obviously. And lately, it's become more of a historic preservation zone because it's one of the few parts of Tokyo that still has that older wooden architecture. And so the main lane is very touristic, but also a lot of fun at the same time. Philippe Starck, by contrast, created this modern building. And then we re-enter the metro system back onto the Ginza line to continue our explorations of downtown. This time we're taking the Ginza line to Ginza itself, the very posh shopping district, something like Fifth Avenue in New York City. And you will find the most expensive stores in town here. Of course, Tokyo is already an expensive place, but here we've got the upper end boutiques, the art galleries. Notice this customer getting a lot of bows from the clerk. She must be a high-end customer. But you'll find that all of the clerks in all of the shops in Japan are extremely friendly and polite. It is really an amazing delight to deal with the shop clerks in Japan. They really make you feel special. Get off the main boulevards in Ginza and onto these little side lanes, and here you'll find some wonderful boutiques, art galleries, there's jewelry stores, there's little tiny clothing stores, some big international chains like Louis Vuitton and Chanel, of course. They're all well represented here. And you'll find those little idiosyncratic places as well. There's a beer hall that's been in business for a century, and little restaurants and cafes, coffee shops, tea houses, some very well-dressed people in the Ginza neighborhood. You can come at night and look at the neon signs all lit up, but then most of the shops are closed if you're here in the evening, so maybe better visit during the day, do some window shopping if you can't afford to make those big purchases, and then be on your way again through the convenience of the metro. This fellow is sleeping while he's standing up, it looks like. We're taking the metro back over to our hotel area to have a closer look at Shibuya. These young schoolgirls are all excited because it's the first snowfall of the season. You can't really see the flakes. They're very tiny little flakes, just a little flurry, but it was that nippy out that we had some snow, which was kind of fun and refreshing. It's a little bit of a challenge to get a vegetarian meal in Tokyo, but we found some great spots, such as that one with a very nice round of foods of all kinds in the Shibuya area right next to the train station. This crossing is reputedly the world's busiest pedestrian crossing. Several thousand people at once go from one side of the street to the other. And it's a big free-for-all. It's a stop in all directions so the traffic can't come through and people can go across or straight over. And it is busy. This is not even rush hour. Shibuya Station leads right up into a wonderful shopping district. It's about 5 blocks wide and 6 blocks long. And soon enough it takes you into another part of town called Harajuku, which is just about a 10 to 15 minute walk away. Takeshita Street is one of the most popular for the young trendies, the young shoppers out to see their friends and buy some clothes and just generally hang out. It's a pedestrian zone. It's about 4 blocks long. Comes out of the Harajuku metro station. And of course there's more restaurants and cafes in that neighborhood as well. And you can even get some free coffee if you're lucky enough to pass a Starbucks when they're handing it out. On to Omotesando. This is a Grand Boulevard in Tokyo. They call it the Champs-Élysées of the city. And it is lined with very elegant stores. It's got wide sidewalks, majestic tree canopy stretching along its length, just over a mile long. It goes from Harajuku to Aoyama, and in this stretch there's a very French atmosphere. You've got some French restaurants and Parisian-style cafes. The Japanese just love French fashions and all things French. They also love America. It's really their favorite other country. Supposedly 30% of Japanese would move to America if they had their choice of countries in which to live. So they're good friends of us. On to Roppongi Hills. Now this is really a futuristic development. It's like a new city in the city. A massive superblock with several skyscrapers and this gigantic shopping mall. They have maps and diagrams throughout to help you navigate because it gets pretty confusing. It's so big. And they've got a lot of restaurants and various kinds of stores. There's the Grand Hyatt Hotel inside Roppongi Hills. It's the super city of the future. There's even a Roy's restaurant. Our friend Roy from Hawaii has a beautiful restaurant here with a terrific view looking out upon the lights of the city with his typical Pacific Rim cuisine. Multi-level structure, this Roppongi Hills, and you can take the escalator right down into the lowest level where you can catch the metro directly to your next destination, which in our case is going to be the airport. We are leaving town. That's it for our look at Tokyo. It's been the Gaijin's Report of Japan for you folks, and now it's time to go. We're back at Narita Airport on our way. Thanks for watching.